My name's Chris Roddis. I work for Greencore. We're a large food manufacturer in the UK and the States, and my job involves the technical aspects of meat and poultry quality.
My name's Julian Pursglove. I'm a product technologist and I work for Sainsbury's Supermarkets Limited.
My name's Natasha Jenkins. I work in food law enforcement primarily. I'm currently also working 1 day a week for a small local slaughterhouse.
My background isn't really in meat, so I found, although I'd picked up a fair bit over the years on meat technology, there were a lot of gaps in my knowledge, and this looked to be a good way of filling in those gaps.
I chose to come on the meat science course because I've had opportunities to get lots of hands-on shadowing knowledge, but I primarily wanted a formal qualification to back that up.
I've had a lifetime in the meat industry and was keen to look more at the science side of the knowledge that I've built up.
With regards to the e-learning, it involved having access to a Moodle via the internet. I found it very useful. It was good in respect that you could log in and out in your own time around any work or family commitments or anything like that.
I found the e-learning material quite easy to navigate round, and prior to coming on the course I looked at the modules that were mainly going to be covered during this week.
It's easy to scroll through pages at a time. It's to do with sections on things like muscle structure and function. There's a fair bit of biochemistry early on.
Lots of information, you can flip back to it throughout the duration that you're on the module, which is handy following the actual taught lessons.
And then each section finishes with a number of questions that check that you've understood the content. So it's important to set aside enough time to do it, but it's a very good way of learning.
The workshops this week have been a mixture of talk lectures and practical laboratory experiments. So we've also had a visit to the on-site slaughterhouse. The
workshop has been great. It's been a super mix of very practical days. We had a very practical day on laboratory techniques and another very practical day on slaughterhouse procedures.
I found it very interesting. Some were harder going than others, but I found the abattoir day very interesting, and it just confirmed the knowledge that I've built up.
And then 2 very good theoretical days which went into some depth in things like glycolysis in meat maturation, proteolysis and the mechanisms and how we know how those mechanisms work. It was very good to go over the e-learning material but in much more detail with the opportunity to ask questions and have things explained in different ways.
Some of the things that I've learned during this week were issues relating to meat quality and how we can improve the quality of the products that we sell. So it's given me a lot of food for thought to go back and really think about it.
With regards to what I've learnt on the course, I think it will give me a lot more knowledge, a lot more understanding of problems, causes, further knowledge of where to look into these problems and suggestions to make.
The way I'll utilise what I've learnt on the course is it will help me to understand why certain things are important in meat technology. So it's one thing to know empirically that you have to do something, but to understand the biochemistry behind it helps you remember it and helps you look at other ways of achieving the same objectives.